What's up? So now we're going to dive in again onto recovery. So as I mentioned yesterday in my video, we're going to be covering recovery this week because that's the component or the answer, that's the word I was looking for, in the poll that came up the most frequently. So recovery. Now there are three core components of recovery that are essential if you want it to be optimal. Now the catch is if it's not, or if you don't cover all three of these components, then your recovery is always going to be compromised. So the first thing that we need to make sure is in place is the duration. Now this one for most people tends to be quite difficult, especially if we feel like we've had a hard day or in general we feel that life is quite harsh to us. Then we feel like we deserve to chill and relax in the evening and watch our favorite TV shows or our favorite show on Netflix, and we like to binge watch it until all hours and so on. And we're quite often happy to sacrifice our sleep for this temporary pleasure of this thing that we're indulging in. Now, the catch-22 with that, of course, is we often then wake up feeling like shit, or we struggle to get to our goals because, as I mentioned, our recovery is compromised. So the first thing that we need to do is make sure that the duration of our sleep is on point. Now, in an ideal world, the average person will get anywhere between 7 and 9 hours. So that's the sort of recommended average, which of course equals out to the 8 hours that you've probably heard before. Most people don't get anywhere near that. Now, some of you might be thinking, well, actually, when I think about it, I do get around 7 hours. Now, if you're getting 7 hours of sleep and not feeling recovered as a result, then it's either not enough, you maybe need to push it up towards 7.5, 8, maybe even 9, or it could be that the quality of your sleep is not ideal. So it might be that you're getting 7 hours or 7 to 9 hours, but the quality of that sleep is not ideal. So that one we'll get into shortly. But first thing that we need to nail down, ideally, is the duration. We need at least that 7 to 9 hours of sleep. Now, once we've got the 7 to 9 hours nailed down, the next thing that we'll want to look at is timing. So when does this 7 to 9 hours take place? Now, the reason for that is because our body and our hormonal systems are set up to take place or to follow the day and night cycle. So that's what we call our circadian rhythm. So the day-night cycle, essentially our hormones are anchored by the rise and fall of the sun. So in an ideal world, what would happen as obviously the sun goes down towards the middle of the day into the evening, etc., cortisol, our stress hormone, should be declining, and then melatonin, our sleep hormone, should be on the rise. Now, if that's all working properly, by the time we get to sort of 9, 10 p.m., we should be feeling pretty tired and ready to go to sleep. Now, in an ideal world, what we will then do is sleep between the hours of 10 and 6 a.m. So 10 p.m. and 6 a.m. Now, the reason for this is because between 10 p.m. and 2 a.m. is when much of our physical repair phase takes place. That's when our body and its hormones are most ramped up to deal with the physical repair that needs to take place in the body. And then between the hours of 2 a.m. and 6 a.m. is when we tend to go through our psychological repair phase. So this is all the memory compartmentalization and the rebuilding of our neural pathways and obviously the coupling of neural pathways and things like that. So that's why in an ideal world, we're asleep between 10 and 6. Now, of course, if you can't make it exactly that every night, it's not a big deal, as long as you're supporting yourself and you're managing it most of the time, or most of your sleep is within that window. Now, in order to keep this video fairly short, because I don't want to obviously bore the hell out of you guys, especially in the evening, and of course, I want you off screens in the evening because of the blue light, but that's another issue that we'll talk about in the next video. So the next component, of course, is quality. So we've already covered duration, we've already covered the timing, and in tomorrow's video, I will cover the quality. So how do we get good quality sleep, whether it's for an extended period, as in the 7 to 9 hours, or even if it's a shortened period of time because for whatever reason, life at the moment is getting in the way and stopping us from getting that 7 to 9 hours. So in tomorrow's video on recovery, I will talk about how we get good quality sleep and how, of course, you can optimize your recovery so that you wake up feeling refreshed, re-energized, and rejuvenated, ready to smash your day and, of course, attack your goals. Now, as always, any questions, drop them in the comments below. And if not, I look forward to seeing you guys tomorrow.